Hello, gaming tankers. We are back, and I know you may not like this, but we most certainly need the Wargaming prayer. Dear Tank Jeebus, grant us the strength to accept the things we cannot change, for Wargaming maketh the rules, and Wargaming breaketh the rules. And, before we get too much farther, let's talk about the recent Tanks for Silver, which is still got a few hours left, unless you're in other parts of the world. This is great. It's good. It's the first time they're doing it. Overpriced tanks. Why are you surprised? It's for silver, the free currency of the economy. And this was not meant for the general player. This was meant for the people, the players who have hundreds of millions, if not over a billion in silver. They're out there. Sometimes they stream. I know one person who has a billion on, and I follow them on Twitter. And I you know what? This was an experiment. Don't know why the FE4211 was there. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have that, but if you haven't, get it. Yeah, so it was the first step, the first experiment. I know everyone's complaining about prices, but this is Wargaming. This is what they do, especially with lots of free-to-play games, especially when it comes to, we're giving away something for the economy you get just by playing. Yeah, this is what they do. So it sucks to have a life and not devote yourself to 90% of your gaming life to this game. Sorry. Is what it is. Congratulations, you touched grass, and then you maybe went for a roll in the grass. Not by yourself. But enough of that. Let's get to more of the real reason why we're here. It's not actually that menacing. It really isn't. First things first, we're just gonna go over. You can watch in the background as I set up the M48 GAU Avenger Black. Why does no one call it just the Avenger? Why must you have your numerical alphabet soup? Just a question. Because like the T249 Vigilante Black. Everyone's I've listened to videos on there's like T249, T49, T49, T49. Call the Vigilant. Okay? Why can't we just use a word? Seriously. Is it Vigilant or Vigilante? Nah, whatever. I go with the simple one, the Avenger. So I realize that World War II Tier 10 once again got railroaded with another OP premium. Era 2 and the Darkness Rising season kind of got 3. And it was a lot. I'm not saying the Avenger is overpowered. It does have some limitations. And I'm not saying the Munsterjäger's overpowered, because it has limitations. The Weissel MK1. It could run into a rock and explode, so I guess that's a limitation that all light tanks pull. No, when you combine all three of those vehicles into in just a span of like 2 months, that really becomes a lot, because they are great support tanks, whether it's spotting, module damage, damaging tracks, or just causing either the beginning half of damage or the finishing half of damage. They are excellent at that. And you put all three of those vehicles, into a match with a few other regular tanks, they can be such effective forces. All at the same time. All in such a short period of time. This was where it was like, could we just get used to the one possibly overpowered tank before you introduce another tank haphazardly? Oh, okay. And that was what's different this time around for R2 in this game. It's like, yeah, we're kind of used to the frustrating deluge of premium tanks like every 2 weeks. But the fact that in one season they released 3 vehicles into Era 2 specifically that had such unique features and capabilities that when combined were just upending to the play of Era 2. Obviously, leopards were harmed in this, walrus, but they're not going to be featured today. Obviously, the Visal is broken. So that's the leader, the top of this triangle of pain. Then you have the Monsterjäger, whose HE rockets, when in the right situation, just devastating. Then you have now the fat cousin to the Visal and the Avenger, and suddenly you have the capability of, from medium distances, tracking and damaging a vehicle, while the smaller Visal does a circle of death, keeps them tracked, and then you could have the Monsterjäger come in from the rear and just take them out. Of course, the Visal MK1 can easily take out almost every tank from the rear, but it's just, you start having, that's just if they were all there together. But they're not. You combine these with the spread of the match, then ATGM capable tanks, higher alpha tanks like the Object 120, some of the harder hitting Russian heavies. It was like, this is a lot of pain dumped quickly. And it was overwhelming. It's kind of stabilized a little bit here for 2 reasons. One, I think the player base has started shifting way back to other tanks. You know, new toy fun has worn off, so back to the grind. Also, we're on to the start of the the effect of the holidays, so that translates to more bots, which a previous video I lamented that. I'll talk about that in a moment. So there is some stabilization, and obviously the Monsterjäger, once detected, it's a soft target. The HE rounds, which are apparently about to be possibly rendered even more ineffective in certain scenarios, don't only work in certain situations to begin with. The Avenger is a large medium. Aside from the bleed damage, well, my playstyle, and this is what's going to annoy so many players, especially when it's properly played as a support tank, is I am going to track every tank I can see, bring them to an absolute dead stop, and depending on the situation, either allow multiple tanks to just whack away at the enemy health, or I will just, and there go your tracks. Oh, repair your track. There you go your tracks. Wait to repair. Oh, nope, there you go your tracks. This can in certain situations be the ultimate supporting. I look forward to the day where I break 10,000 assisted damage, and I feel very confident in doing that with this tank, because you have the rotary cannon, the Gatling, essentially that is perfect in that scenario. And then of course you get to the rear, you get those options. It can do the damage, but the overheat mechanic is something I'm mindful of, and that's where I think the Vigilant is going to get that, even though the division at Chicago of Wargaming says, no, it didn't have that mechanic. It didn't have that. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You take a semi-automatic boomstick or a fully automatic boomstick and you run a couple hundred rounds through it in a very short amount of time, it will not function correctly. It will start having problems. Get to a couple thousand, and suddenly you're probably going to have a fire on your hands. You've seen, you can find them on YouTube, like the running of the AK or the AR until failure, i.e. something goes boom and they it's nothing like seeing an AR barrel just pop and turn to flame. Yeah. So no, that will have to be readdressed in World War II. And let's bring up the question of for both of these tanks. Do we really need to have anti-air vehicles in the game right now? Answer is, well, modern armor is in the unique situation of having Cold War, so they weren't limited like the PC version of this game is. And, well, we say limited, but as they are now super testing the MBT B, yeah, I think we got last year. They're starting to push the boundaries further. Like we saw that with the Chinese heavies. But yeah, so this really kind of brought up like that modern armor didn't need anti-air. Although, yes, okay, the Czechoslovakian anti-air that is in PC would be interesting, as you suppose, from the World War II perspective, but I mean, full-on Gatling, full-on bringing in the boomstick, the boom snout from the A-10 Warthog. I gotta be honest, I really think those boys and girls in Chicago were just like, oh, jeez, PC's playing around with rotary cannons. So we saw that, like, I think at the beginning of this year, they had that special testing mode. PC's Wargaming's dabbling with a whole new Cold War-ish tank game. You know what? And I'm like, I kind of feel like the American pride kind of rose up over there in Chicago. And they're like, no, let's do it first. We already got the Cold War. Let's do the rotary cannons. Let's put them in the game. No special mode. They just had to do it first. The little brothers always got to be. They can't help be in the shadow of Big Brother, and by God, they're going to make sure the world knows that they hate being there. So here we are. And I say this with, again, going back to what I said before, it's just all three of those vehicles coming in such a short succession just created, it was a recipe for disaster, let's be real. And it is going to be interesting, especially we're starting to see some Cold War balancing buffs, except for the Blitzpanzer. We knew it was gonna happen, but yeah, right now with the Weissel MK1 just roaming around, it's like buffing one of the few tanks I can kind of keep up with it, or nerfing one of the tanks and keep up with it. I don't know. But yeah, really didn't suss that camo factor or speed. Again, Weissel is too fast in World of Tanks Modern Armor. That I don't know if we're ever, I don't know if we're ever gonna have a speed nerf in Eras 2, certainly 3, but that's my suggestion. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I forgot in the last few videos. Like and subscribe if you are enjoying the lack of vitriol. And let's talk about the vitriol. So 7 days ago I posted 2 videos. One complaining about bots, overuse of bots. It happened. By the way, all these matches took place early in the morning, so they're going to be bots. I don't feel like changing servers. You know, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, bots are bots, and these different players, same assholes. So, oh, and before anyone brings up market excellence, I forget them. They're going forward probably for, unless they fix things now, they're still going to be probably messed up for a year. They're a joke. Yeah. Back to the videos. The one video that I posted with the bots was startlingly one of my most viewed videos. Over 700 views. The video I posted after it about praising World of Tanks Spawn Armor for bringing in the Asario got just under 90. So I'm gonna kind of come down on the audience here a little bit, because I think a lot of gamers for this game who have been saying this game is dead or dying for what, 4 or 5 years now, you really might need to take a little more time off from playing this game, or maybe go to your happy place, because you're bringing your negativity here, and it's could very well bring an unnecessary but possible self-fulfilling prophecy. Hi to the commenter who's like, who uninstalled and hasn't played this game in 2 years yet. You just can't stop watching. And I get it, and I think that's the main attraction to this, is simply put, why we can't stop is like, you know, you want to see the freak show. You want to see how Wargaming is going to crash once again and then pull themselves back up, and we just keep going. I mean, also the fact that certain adults are prone to developing habits and then finding it difficult to get out of them because it's just part of their routine, and routines are hard to break. So, but the fact that a video that had a negative bent to it and a criticism attracted more views and negative response. There were only a couple comments. 82 subscribers. Thank you for getting me to 82 subscribers. Maybe we'll make it to 100. I don't know, but it was more concerning about the mindset of the player base and how quick they are to anger and hate, as opposed to logic and reason. Insert Yoda quote here. So, the fact that every time Wargaming asks for suggestions, or, you know, your complaints about certain issues, it's like, could you please be polite? Kind of shows that, yeah, a lot of you like the shield of anonymity, and that unfortunately is a shield that is allowing you to be more abusive than you probably should be. But welcome to the internet. We noticed this stuff about 20 years ago. So, but mostly this is not the type of channel I want to be like that. So, hey, if you subscribe for the hate, unsubscribe and take that hate somewhere else. It is just a game, and if you spend a lot of money on this game, okay, go to the casino instead. Don't really like suggesting that, but if you're gonna dump money and you refuse to support some charities and stuff, all right. But so that was my concern about just the audience for this, or the player base and the audience of this game. And I realize wargaming doesn't help the situation. Lack of transparency does not breed trust, and that if you don't trust someone, you're prone to anger. So yeah, the roadmaps, nice, as opposed to just a little, here's a very vague outline of what the season's gonna hold. Imagine where we would be if we had seen what premium tanks are going to be released during the Darkness Rising season, as opposed to here's what's in the season passes. I think we would have A, been prepared, and then B, maybe had a little more time to speak up and go, you know, are you sure about this? The cam on the Visel, that looks a bit sus. I know it's a small tank, but it could be just like, yeah, is that too low? I can see it might be a little make it a little too sneaky. And then of course, it's like the Monster the Visel, and the Avenger is like, do we need to release these 3 vehicles with such high rates of fire? Yeah, it's a burst sort of, but it's a high rate of and large amount of possible damage for one burst. It's like, yeah. So it's not. You know what I like to have comments. Let's talk about it. How could wargaming make money without selling tanks? Across the board, wargaming is really dependent on selling tank after premium tank, and just we don't like it. We've just run into this issue now with in one season 4 premium tanks causing a huge upset in the game. So comment down below. We can start talking here. I'm not a CC or a CA, so I don't have much sway with wargaming, although sometimes it doesn't seem they even care to listen to their CCs or CAs, so. But just, we can start having a more positive conversation. I mean, I've brought up how selling camos and camo vouchers, the problem is there's not enough camos, there's not enough unique camos. So garage gear, I love what they did with the garage, and I know what you're gonna say, they're a small team, they shouldn't be focusing on this, they should be focusing on fixing the game. Well, there's a lot of little things that end up making a very big game, so each thing takes time, and you know what? It's the garage, you spend money, they make money, and you go and you play your game, and you don't have a tank wrecking things. You just get to go back to your, you know, garage afterwards with your candy cane pentagram and your wiggly wobbly tentacles. Actually, is there enough candy canes to make a pentagram? Maybe a small one. I don't know. I'm kind of reaching the point where I wish I had more space in my garage, so I could put up more very lack of feng shui or taste decorations. I'm a guy. I put things in boxes and call it organized. What can I say? So, but yeah, the Darkness Rising season has probably proven to be the most, is going to go down as probably the most detrimental, and if not controversial, seasons in wargaming history. Okay. It's one of 6.0. Never forget 6.0. So, and as far as this being a dead game, honestly, if they hadn't brought in Cold War, if it wasn't for some aspect of 6.0, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be spending money on this game. I wouldn't be making these videos because I just didn't care for World War II mode. Once you hit tier 8, it gets really hard, and I was like, I'm not really interested in these tanks, so. And then came Cold War mode, so. And you can say that ruined this game, and it's bringing players who don't know how to play and all the veterans left, but... Well, we're at a stable spot for now, and that's a problem being stable. It's like you're preparing for either a shift up or a shift down, and that you don't know what's going to cause that, and you hope it's not a shift down. And in a capitalist society, you want continuous growth, so stability is just tantamount to loss, and that is bad. So, yeah, you know, I hope Slap-a-Fish Jr. he puts out next year the player base counts, and so I get to go, I can't understand this key, this is convoluted, but I got a bunch of moving lines, so ooh, moving objects interest me. Bark, bark. Man is dog. But dog is not man, dog is good. So, I hope you were now expecting a review of the Avenger. That'll come later. Along with a comparison to the Stritzwagen 122A, the Leopard 285. And what I'm really been enjoying, and now just need to get all the footage I need for it, is comparing the T-72s and to the T-80s in Era 2. Still grinding T-80s, so. But with Darkness Rises season ending in mere hours, and the new one soon to begin, I suggest you do what I do. First couple weeks of the new season, just play an hour or not at all. Take a break from it. Go play another game. Just, you know, if you want to know what's going on, just check out someone on Twitch. The developer streams content. Every Tuesday and Friday they have a stream. They're over there. World of Tanks on Twitch and YouTube. Modern Armor. Can't remember that. So. Yeah. Burned myself out. Oh, yes, full disclosure. I guess I'm just a liar. Also, because of the war chest being taken away and changed, I decided to spend a little more money. Now, I haven't spent a lot of money, even though I said at the beginning of the year I was not going to spend money. I bought some general war chests. Got no tanks, sadly. The Type 80 Chinese medium premium tank. That is absolutely mediocre and completely forgotten about. Did not get it. Shame. But I did get the gold, so I can afford both the Avenger and the next Ultimate Season Pass. Because, yeah, man, I would gladly take a premium Leopard 2 A5. That should have good frontal armor at least. Alright. It's getting late here. I'm getting tired. We've rambled enough. Thanks for sticking around for the first 2 minutes and tuning out. I guess that counts as a view. And I hope that you find the game to be more enjoyable, or you find a game that you do enjoy to play. And in the meantime, if you want to stick around, keep playing and keep watching. Hope you keep the tracks on the ground and the RNGs in your favor. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.